I'm excited about our guest speaker today. And this is give you a little bit of idea. Some of you new people may not know, but he got started with ACN in Dearborn, Michigan, 31 years ago. And maybe he'll tell a story about how that got started and where they're at today. And I've got a few questions that some of you sent in to me, which we may ask if we got time. But right now, I want to hand the floor over to our co-founder, who is out there in the field with us in the trenches, hearing from the home office, in the trenches with the leadership, understanding what we need to have and put it together so we can have a successful company. And after 31 years, I'm just so happy to have him on the call today. And some of you may not have heard him speak a little bit close and up personal like he is today. And I'm excited about hearing what he's got to say. Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm welcome to none other than co-founder, the great Mr. Greg Provenzano. Good
Hey
morning, sir.
T, what
How
did
you
you
doing?
what did you have for breakfast, brother?
I just got finished having breakfast around the corner from my place here, and it was a great, healthy breakfast. I'm always like this, though. I'm up at 4 o'clock every morning. By the time people call me at 7 o'clock, I say good afternoon to them. It's late for me. It's late for me, but I get up early every morning.
What's your routine at 4 o'clock? I want to know.
I get up. First thing I do is pray. I go and I read a book of Proverbs, as you as well. You do that as well. I've heard you say that many times. I read a book of Proverbs every morning, and then I take a walk. I take 2 to 3 walks every day. So if you don't use it, you lose it. So that's what keeps you young, keep your blood circulating, and keeps you younger. You don't get disease and sick as much. And after that, I'll write in my journal some when I'm attitude of gratitude. I write down what I'm grateful for. I mean, just the idea of water. Turn on one spigot, cold water, turn on another. I don't know how that works. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful I live in a country where I get up and it's not bombed out. I'm grateful I know where my siblings. I'm grateful. We all have so much to be grateful for. Rather than what we don't have, we should look at what we do have. So after that, I do a little bit of meditation, and then I may be calling back keys to some IBOs and things of that nature. And by the time we get on this call every morning, we do these calls 5 days a week on this number every morning. We've been doing these calls for 7 years now.
Wow, buddy.
7 years, every 5 days a week. And then on Saturday, I do a 6 o'clock leadership at 6 o'clock. So every week, without fail, with guest speakers, every day, 5 days a week, sir. So that's my agenda. And after that, I'm helping people build their business, and I'm on call, whoever needs me. So that sums up most of my day right there.
Way to go. Way to go.
Yes, sir.
Well, I see a lot of familiar faces on the screen here. So good to see all of you. How are you? Everybody well?
Yeah, we got everybody on mute because we don't want anybody text or interrupt anything you got to say, sir.
Yeah.
So
no, I get it.
Yeah.
I understand, and I'm grateful as well. I'm grateful for this group. I'm grateful for you, Al, and the leadership that you provide ACN. You are a gentleman that has always led from the front. You continue to do so. Obviously, I didn't know you did these calls every day. And, these fine people get on every day, and that's a good way to start your day. Just focusing on your ACN business. And I'm really enthused about what is going on with ACN during the summer months of 2024. And I could not wait to get on this call, just so I could, have conversation with you. I don't have anything in particular planned to talk to you about, but there are some things in my heart that I think that would be beneficial for you if I could shed some light on some of the things that I believe that would be important enough for you to hear. And hopefully, some of the things that are on my heart will give you some insight as to what you can be doing, how you can be thinking to help you to build a large organization. So you ready to go? Great, great. This is a very special season in our company. As all of you know, Al mentioned that this is our 31st year of being in business. And being in business for 31 years, you have to be doing something, not perfect, but you have to be doing something right. I'm just a firm believer that the Lord would not bless anything or any venture, any entity that doesn't have the right heart in doing things the right way. And we've been able to do those things for the last 31 years, not perfectly. We're not perfect, as we're human beings. We'll make mistakes along the way. But I want you to know that you're with a company whose heart is in the right place, and that we've always thought long term, and instilling certain values and principles in people that we believe that have stood the test of time, that will continue to build even bigger and better things than what we've done over the last 31 years. And I'm confident that all of you that are on this line, that you want the same thing to have happen for yourself and for your family. Otherwise, you would not be on this call. There's plenty of things that we all could be doing right now. We're all busy. We got a lot of things going on in our lives. I see a lot of familiar faces on the screen. I know some of you personally. I've seen some successes with some of you. I've seen some personal hurts from some of you. Some of you have overcome many hurdles over the last years of time that you've been involved with ACM. But I want you to know that today's a new day. And this day, the 31st of July, is the end of a month. It's the end of an era. And tomorrow is the beginning of a new era. In fact, today could be the beginning of a new era for you if you choose to have it be. And one of the things that I learned many, many years ago from John Maxwell, he talked about seasons of change in people's lives. Now, this is interesting. I remember this distinctly. And he said that there are 4 seasons that people change. The first one is they change when they hurt enough, they have to. So when you hurt enough, that means you make decisions because you have to change, because you no longer want to hurt. How many of you no longer want to hurt? Yeah, you no longer want to hurt. The second thing that he said was that when they see enough, they're inspired to. When they see enough, they're inspired to. The third thing that he said, the third season when people change, is when they learn enough, they want to. And the fourth season when people change is when they receive enough, they are able to. So I want you to think about those 4 seasons. When they hurt, when they see, when they learn, and when they receive. Those are 4 key things that will inspire people to change. And Al, what I want to talk to this group about today is that the more people that they talk to, and the more often enough that they talk to these people, if they hit somebody during one of these seasons, they will want to change and be a part of this great company, because not only can we inspire people to change, we give them a vehicle to latch onto to change with. That's what most people don't do. They can talk about and inspire and motivate and move people to go do something, but they don't have anything for those people to go to. We happen to have the premier vehicle that people, if they're caught during the right season, if they're caught when they hurt, if they caught if they see a presentation, then they see enough and they're inspired to change. When they learn enough, they're going to want to change. And we have the ability to give them something so that they can receive enough where they're able to change. We have every aspect inherent in ACN's DNA to give them one or all 4 of those things, to give them the fuel to change and be better. So here's my first question to the group, Al Thomas. Here's my first question. because I see a lot of familiar faces on this call, as I told you before. And I know for a fact, if I ask this question, I already know the answer. How many of you would like to be further along in your ACN career than you are right now? I know everybody would raise your hand, because I would raise my hand too. I want to be further along too. So we're all on the same page. My first question to this group, actually, I'm not going to even address this question to the group. Here's what I want. I want each of you to act like you are on a personal Zoom call with Greg Provenzano. You're not in this group right now. This just came to me because this is going to be important. You're on a personal Zoom call with Greg Provenzano right now. It's just you and me, you and I on this screen. And I told you about those 4 seasons. Here's the question that I want for each of you to answer. Are you hurting enough right now for you to change? Have you saw enough to inspire you to change? Have you learned enough that you want to change? And have we given you enough? Have you received enough that you are able to change? So here is the question, right? It's you and I. It's me and you. July 31st, personal Zoom call. Why haven't you changed to the capacity that you are able to change, knowing that you have each of those 4 seasons behind you? Interesting question. It's an interesting question. And I want you to do some introspection. Each of you, I want you to do some introspection. Because sometimes, I know for me, when I was building my network marketing business, there came, some of you know my story. There came a point in time where there were no more excuses as to why I wasn't doing something big for me and my family. In fact, some of you on this line, I'm clicking through the screen right now. Some of you, I don't believe you heard this story before, so I'll tell it. For those of you that know it, it'll be a good reminder for you. Because my first 3 years in network marketing, I was a disaster. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to talk to people. I didn't know how to present. I didn't know how to dress. Look, I grew up in the inner city of Detroit. I had no mentorship. I was figuring this out all on my own. And from 1982 to 1985, I was a mess. But this network marketing was going to be my ticket out of the way that I grew up. All of you, you all understand what I'm trying to tell you, yes? And when I was building my business, there was a practice that at every Christmas party, at that Christmas party, that is when we celebrated RVP promotions within that group in Michigan. And I'll never forget, in 1985, my friends who started at the exact same time that I did, 2 of them were getting promoted to RVP. And I wasn't, because I didn't figure it out yet. So I'm at a round table and the stage is ahead of me, and I had to turn my chair to face the area where my buddies were getting promoted. And in back of me was Sherry. This is 1985 now. My buddy gets promoted, And my second friend was about to get promoted. And before they started making the presentation, I leaned back to Sherry just like this. And my head goes just like this. And I said, babe, this is going to be us next year. And I don't know how long it took for her to respond. I have no idea. But this is how she responded to me making that statement to her. How many more next years are there going to be? And you know what? She was absolutely right. Because at that time by 1985, her and I were married 4 years. And I told her, I said, I don't care what I have to do, babe. We're going to win. We're going to win big. I'm telling you, we're going to be doing something big. And I kept telling her all those things, and for 3 years, nothing significant happened. So she says, how many more next years are there going to be? That was December of 1985. Let me tell you what happened. In February of 1986, 2 months later, I got promoted to RVP. By May or June, I forget the month, of 1986, 5 or 6 months later, I got promoted to SVP in that company. Let me ask all of you a question. What happened? Did the compensation plan change? The answer is no. Did the company change? The answer is no. Did the services change? The answer was no. You know what changed? Greg Provenzano changed. Do you know why I changed? Because of the first statement that I made. I heard enough that I had to. So here's my question to you. How many more next years are there going to be? And when are you going to say enough is enough? Because ACN's never been better. Are we perfect? No. But ACN's never been better. Compensation plan's never been better. Service has never been better. Leadership's never been better. Our position in the marketplace has never been better. Nothing has been better than right now this season in ACN after 31 years. How many more next years are there going to be for you? And when are you going to get off whatever you're doing, whatever excuses you're making for not winning for you and your family? See, some of you don't hurt enough. Some of you have too much cushion in your life. A mother eagle will never allow their baby eagle to stay in the nest too long because they know that if they don't kick that baby eagle out of the nest, that baby eagle is going to grow and not be able to fly and eat for itself. They're going to get killed. Some of your nests are way too comfortable. Some of you have too many options in your lives. One of the greatest things I can tell you, Al, I don't know if you want me to talk like this to this group. I'm just telling you what's on my heart right now.
Please give it to them. Both barrel loads.
You see, in 1985, when I made that decision, I had no other options for my life. I went to college for a year and a half and I had to leave because I ran out of money. I didn't have a college degree. I still don't have a college degree. I didn't have any options for my life. And because I didn't have any options, I didn't have a choice of whether or not I was going to win with what I was doing for me and my family in that company. I want you to write this down. There is great value in having no options. When you have to do something, that's where the value comes in. I got a friend of mine that's battling cancer right now. You talk about a guy that drastically changed his eating and drinking habits. You know why he did it? He has to do it. Some people try to lose weight and it's a desire that they have, but they don't have to do it. I'm telling you, unless you hurt enough where you have to, and you have no other options, there's a good chance you're not going to get off that cushioned nest that you're in. And we'll be having the same conversation 12 months from now. I think what I'm talking to you about is important. Some of you have not done that introspection and you're wondering why life isn't turning out the way that you thought. It's because you're exercising too many options. Some of you have money coming in. You don't have to do ACN. I get it. I understand it. There's life choices that you must make. But please be honest with yourself. Please be honest with me. Please be honest with Al Thomas. Listen, if you don't want to be an SVP at ACN, that's okay. It's okay. Go do whatever you want to do. But if you want to do something great with an ACN, if you want to change lives in the process of getting, of having an opportunity of getting wealthy for you and your family, if you want to do both, this is a pretty good place to be. It's a pretty good place to be. I count my blessings to be a part of ACN, not just because for the wealth it provided, but the wealth of relationships that we've built over the last 31 years, to me, is priceless. A ghetto kid from Detroit having so many friends around the world. That's a dream come true for me. I can't tell you how many letters I get, how many cards I get, how many emails, how many texts that I get, even from people that are no longer a part of ACN, that have gone off and taken the principles that we taught them to go out and they've done tremendous things, and all they do is say thank you. Do you know how rich that is? But where are we going to go and provide the value that we provide and give people a vehicle to find whatever they want to find in their life, all in one package called ACN? Not going to find it. That's how unique we are. And here's the other thing. Not only do you have to make a decision that this is going to be it for you, some of you haven't made the decision yet. You have to make sure that after you make the decision, that you're going to build ACN the right way. Build ACN the right way. Because one of my favorite sayings that I used to, when we did a lot of leadership sessions, I used to tell our leaders this. I used to make this statement: the longest distance between 2 points is a shortcut. I see people all the time that are trying to build their ACN business, and they want to do it the fastest way, the quickest way, and they try and take a shortcut, and they're trying to manipulate people, manipulate the compensation plan. I'm telling you, none of it's worth it. None of it's worth it. What do you want to be remembered for? How you've built ACN or what you've built? It doesn't matter what we build if it's not built the right way. It doesn't matter if we build a house on sand. What does it matter? I want to build a house on a rock. I want to be known and remembered for how we built, not just what we built. And I think about all the things that we put in place for ACN for you to take advantage of. One of the greatest things and greatest advantages that you have as ACN leaders is to be a part of the culture of ACN. Because we understood this 31 plus years ago, that culture eats strategy for lunch. And when you provide the right culture, when you understand that our businesses are organisms and not organizations, that they're people focused, and you put other people above your own in regards to your focus and time and attention, I'm telling you, great things will happen for you. That's what we did and continue to do for 31 plus years. We learned a long time ago how to light a fire within people, not under people. That's the difference between leaders and managers. And if you adopt the right mindset, I believe that some of you already have, you will have great things happen for you and your family. No question about it. Part of the culture that we have designed is at the events that we do. And I know, look, I'm not going to talk to you about Orlando. I'm not going to promote for Orlando. You know, it's October 11th, 12th, and 13th. I know you guys all know it. My point in telling you this is this. You know that we've put these Elevate events on to have a business building tool for you to use. That's part of our culture. I know that some of you are already pre-registered, but some of you on this line probably aren't. And I would encourage you all to use this event to be the business building tool that it was designed to do for you. One of the things that these events do is they get people to commit incrementally, just by going to the event. How much value is that for you in building your company within a company, building your team within a team? So all of these things are important. But the foundation starts with the first thing that I talked about. Are you hurting enough to make a change? Is it time for you, July 31, 2024, is it time for you to get out of your nest? Or are you going to remain comfortable and complain about how life is not working for you 5 years from now? I hope that you made some decisions today. And I hope that I made you think. Because without going through this process, I'm telling you, 5 years from now, we're all going to be the same that we are today. We'll just be 5 years older. Lord willing, we'll all be here. But I want you to grow. I want you to fly. I want you to fend for yourselves. I want you to be healthy. I want you to have time and money on your side. I want you to have options for your life, not to have options to do something else, but options to do something personally that you want to do. And you don't have to check the balance of your checkbook or check the date on a calendar, because you have unlimited options for you. You can go take 3 or 4 walks a day like Al Thomas does. Most people don't have time to take 1 walk a day. He takes 3 or 4. Why? He has options. He has options now because he said to himself, there's no other option before when he started with ACN. No other option. He made ACN work. The same thing can happen for you. So I would encourage you all to take this message, but start from the beginning and let something magnificent happen for you starting today, July 3rd. Let's start August. Let's start the month of August in a big way, because your commitment level is so huge that you're never going to look back. You're only going to look forward. And starting this month, something big is going to happen. And then we'll all show up in Orlando together with momentum on our side, a lot of people, and help and allow you to allow us to go to work for you to build your company within a company. Is that a deal? Excellent. Al Thomas, I'm going to give this call back to you, brother.